Welcome to Bastard Quest. I'm the Game Bastard Kyle.
My ID says I'm Todd.
Benjamin.
What?
Corey got killed in that tornado. JK, I'm Corey.
Oh.
And I'm Austin.
We are playing Cobra, the COBRA CODEX from Renegade, part of their G.I. Joe role-playing system. You're all Cobras, which I guess, was self-explanatory.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to this show and you're wondering, what's Cobra? You've come to the wrong place.
Well, it's a special unit of soldiers in Metal Gear Solid 3.
Or if you expect us to be fighting Mongoose.
It's a big market in the podcast.
Yeah.
Isn't that the Cobra's mortal enemy, the Mongoose?
Yeah.
That's the mythology. I don't know. Mongoose, I guess, will kill cobras.
Mongoose.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah,
Is that how you
maybe.
say 'em?
Mongooses?
Mongai?
Mongoosai?
Mongai, yes. Ricky Tikki Tavi.
But in any case, we're not any of that. This is Cobra, an international terrorist organization determined to rule the world. Corey, who is your Cobra?
Chigger Cheeks.
Right, obviously a ninja with that name.
He attacks from the shadows. He'll kill your child.
Okay.
He don't
Wow.
give a shit. He's evil.
And they make you some jam.
Got real
Well,
dark.
a nice pear jam, yes.
Sure. Austin?
I'm Throttlehead.
Uh-huh.
That's all need be said.
I think that's everything. Yeah. Todd?
Jean-Paul Fromage, codename Yacht Croc. I like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain.
And Corey, P.S., I just noticed something. If Chigger Cheeks makes the pear jam, is that the direct opposite of Lizard Lips, who makes pear jelly?
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of people know this, but Lizard Lips was also ravaged by lizards.
Lizard Lips being
And they
your...
just ripped his lips right off.
Lizard Lips being your G.I. Joe character that we've played
Yes,
in the past.
but he gained the ability. I never brought this up. I don't know why, because it's cool. He gained the ability from the lizard venom to regrow his lips if they were removed.
So he grows back a different set every time he's injured.
A little bit bigger. And he's taking a lot of lip hits.
I just picture like this guy in Maine running, screaming from the forest with like a bunch of skinks hanging off his lips.
Oh, my lips. Happens a lot up there.
Yeah.
Everybody up there is disfigured by some sort of forest danger.
Well,
Look at
Maine.
Stephen King.
Yeah. Wild Van got him.
Don't get me started on beaver balls.
The three of you are in a dark room. On the wall is a square of illumination, and there's a click, and another slide appears. It's of the Malfy King, Direximo, waving to a crowd from an open limo. And the voice of the Televiper's image fills the room. The king is vulnerable during the national parade every year. There's another slide, and it shows a chateau in the Alps. He is also vulnerable while visiting his mistress in Transcarpathia. There's another click and another slide, and this shows the UN headquarters in New York. He also has an upcoming diplomatic mission to the United Nations planned. These are the 3 times in which the king will be most vulnerable over the next 6 months. Choose your mission time wisely. The lights go up, and you're...
Completely nude? What the fuck? How'd they pull that one on us? Well, fool me 30 times.
Who's this old lady?
It's a Raptors thing.
Just takes your pants off.
Yeah. Pantses you. I love a good prank.
The lights go up, the shades go up. You're in a small cabin on the Malfian coast, not far from the capital. You're still in Cobra's Potemkin village, so to speak.
In the Thunder trailer. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. His image is putting up his slide projector. Just let us know when you're going to move against the king. He had prepared a briefing for you on the best times to assassinate the king, obviously.
I just wait. Public display of force. And by this, Throttlehead means I think we should assassinate him in public while he's doing his parade thing.
So there's your 3 options, just to summarize: the national parade, when he's visiting his mistress, or when he's in New York for the United Nations diplomatic summit.
Well, first off, let's go corrupt that prime minister, turn him into a cobra, then kill him later.
Okay, so you guys want to try to make contact with the prime minister before you assassinate the king?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yes, I like this idea.
Okay. What's your angle on the prime minister?
Well, it depends. I assume Zimage has a file on the prime minister as well. Do we have anything on his routines or his habits that we might be able to leverage?
Yeah, of course, Cobra has been spying on everybody that's important in Malfy's government. The Prime Minister is fairly unremarkable in terms of his current level of corruption. He's as dirty as any other Malfy politician, but nothing exceptional. It's not like he's taking massive bribes from the CIA or anything like that. So the Prime Minister's schedule when the government is in session is pretty full, but they have regular breaks, and during that time, he's either in...
Malfalago? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, basically. Well, he's in the capital, Matadoria. But, he's basically at his official residence, but then he also, has a Mar-a-Lago, basically, a beach home. Yeah, it's not a resort. It's just a beach house that he also goes to. Plays
golf like Alice in Wonderland, except with geese.
He does putt-putt.
Yeah.
He just does putt-putt.
Yeah.
All his deals are made around the giant clown nose that you got to hit the ball through. So you could dig deeper into his life to try to find something to blackmail him with, or you could just, attempt to outright bribe him.
So the dude's already corrupt.
Yeah, he's a politician. He's innately corrupt.
Right. I think it'd be fairly easy to convince him to turn on the king, number one, and we could promise him leadership of the country as long as he's a Cobra agent.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, as long as he answers to Cobra, he can lead the country however he wants.
Okay.
Yeah. And if he doesn't, we kill him.
Yeah, but the geese stay. They're ours now.
So how do you want to approach him, like on the golf course, sneak into his beach house, be waiting for him when he arrives, break into the presidential palace, show up at a campaign event as donors, accidentally run into him at a Denny's?
Which is still standing, by the way.
Well, yeah.
Their business has really increased since the bombing of Applebee's.
Yeah, we destroyed the commerce/entertainment district, which was the strip mall.
It was a nice strip mall.
But we're not cruel. We left the Denny's up.
Yeah, it had a Bed Bath & Beyond factory outlet.
It's actually now the Capitol building.
I feel like having a private meeting with him would make more sense than talking to him in public at all.
Yeah.
So we could meet him at the putt-putt course.
Right.
Okay.
I think it would be at least pretty simple to be able to isolate him enough to speak to him.
You track down the Prime Minister to the Malfy International Putt-Putt Coliseum, the largest putt-putt golf course in the world.
Right.
And it's not close. Right? It's not like this is just slightly... No one has a putt-putt golf course this size.
There's a literal windmill there.
There's a literal windmill.
Not like a wooden one that Frankenstein died on.
Yeah.
A gigantic, futuristic, modern one that has to get put together from semi-trucks.
Their fake Eiffel Tower is larger than the real Eiffel Tower.
Right.
The loop-de-loop is actually from a roller coaster that, did that. It's the old Wabash Cannonball from Opryland.
Malfy is a third world country because this construction bankrupted them.
Worth it, I think.
The 18th hole, the trick one that gets you a free game, is you have to hit the golf balls in an active gladiator pit.
They spend so much money on gorillas to guard the final hole.
So,
but get this. It's actually 19 holes.
Oh.
Damn.
But you see Prime Minister Paulino Martin, based on Patreon member Paul Martin. He's on the 16th hole.
He's been there for 4 days.
Yeah. It's the armadillo. Is what it's called. They basically genetically engineered an armadillo, grew it to huge size, killed it, stuffed it, and made a putt-putt golf course inside its innards.
Okay. Instead of just building a wooden armadillo. Got it. Yeah.
This is why they bankrupted the country.
Oh, I see.
But he's on the 16th hole.
Yeah.
He's been there for several days.
It's
He's running out of water.
No, he's playing on the armadillo. He's on its back right now. He's trying to line up a shot. His bodyguards are around. This place is, right now, it's closed down because it's the Prime Minister. They don't let the public in when he's playing.
Sure.
Because, being Prime Minister, it has its perks.
Oh, yeah.
But you guys have somehow infiltrated the facility. We don't necessarily need to know where all your characters are right now. We just assume you're somewhere lurking in the shadows of the Coliseum.
We've turned this into a Hitman level, and
basically, yeah. So the Prime Minister, he's on the 16th. He has half a dozen bodyguards, some members of his staff along with him. And let me tell you where the member of the G.I. Joe team is.
Oh.
That would be Refrigerator Perry.
Oh, fuck.
Who's grown increasingly paranoid in the past few days and now started to accompany the Prime Minister. He is near the head of the armadillo, looking large and in charge and watching everything.
But that's okay, because the goofy-looking goose mascot that saunters past is actually Throttlehead.
Oh, so he's basically the Chuck E. Cheese in this?
I am.
Okay, got it.
So does Throttlehead, does he talk as the goose, or does it have one of those automated voices in the mascot?
Well, he's got one of those voice box things that he just hits a button and it says like one of like 5 phrases.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to, yeah.
Like, hey kids, careful with your hole.
God.
Refrigerator Perry is just glaring at you as you waddle past.
Okay, if we're going with that, then Chigger Cheeks is dressed up like Mitzi from Showbiz Pizza, the mouse cheerleader.
Yeah, you hear Perry whisper in his breath, I'm watching you, mascots. Perry, of course, has his trademark, and I know if you watched a Bears game, you saw this, his football hammer, which came with his action figure, which is a metal football attached to a staff.
That's how the Bears won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. He killed 7 members of the opposing team. I think he's still an international fugitive from that. But he has that. He's watching everything, no raptor pun intended, like a hawk. All right, and the next move is yours, players.
Throttlehead's going to take the initiative and try to distract Refrigerator Perry while my teammates attempt to negotiate with the PM.
How is Throttlehead distracting this elite G.I. Joe enforcer?
Well, he's going to kind of dance up to Refrigerator Perry.
I hate everything
Challenge
about
him to
you.
a Super Bowl shuffle off.
Not now, Goose. I'm working.
I don't think Refrigerator Perry could turn down a challenge like that.
Yeah. So Throttlehead hits the button on his voice box again, and it says, how about a fun game of goose golf? And he takes a putter that's in the shape of a fucking goose and kind of taps on Perry's football hammer. Like, you just use that for the club. And then he saunters over to this hole and kind of just taps a ball like further down the course.
What skill are you using to try to persuade him to give up his vigilance and play golf, play putt-putt?
I have a D2 in persuasion.
I feel like it is persuasion. I didn't know if you had any other skills.
Now, before I do roll, Kyle, can I make a case for this being targeting, since I am trying to hit a shot?
I will let your skill at targeting give you an edge on your persuasion, but it's still ultimately persuasion.
Okay. All right. So I'm just rolling 2 D12s and a D2.
Yeah.
And I'll also say this, just to goose it a little.
I just don't like you at all.
Throttlehead hits his voice box again and says, what are you, a goose or a chicken?
Hey, that'll get him.
That give me anything?
Bad dreams, hopefully. They're everywhere.
I mean, this is Refrigerator Perry being challenged.
Yeah, G.I. Joe Refrigerator Perry, an elite Special Forces operative that also was a professional football player.
Okay.
We've seen this story 1,000 times.
So D8 then?
No. Okay. I think you're good with what you got.
All right. 2 D12s and a D2. What's my target number?
Well, this is a G.I. Joe, and you're trying to persuade him to give up his duty, which honestly, in the cartoon and the comic, seems to happen all the time.
Well,
13.
Okay. Oh, I rolled a 20 and a 10, but I got an edge. That makes my total 21.
21 is, that's definitely sufficient.
the spirit of the competitor is very alive in the fridge.
Yeah, so the Refrigerator Perry looks around. This place is clearly empty. There's plenty of bodyguards. He says, well, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to work out the old hammer. And he starts hitting golf balls with the goose.
Yeah.
When Refrigerator Perry steps up to take his first stroke, Throttlehead activates the jammer that he's got hidden in his costume to make sure that the Secret Service agents as well as the G.I. Joe are unable to communicate with each other.
Now, is this based on the kit you have?
Yes, my sabotage kit that I had put together when we requisitioned gear at the beginning of the mission.
So that would basically give you... Well, I'm assuming you took the kit since you probably don't have science.
Yeah, I don't have science or technology, but I pretty much just used it in case we needed those specific props for certain actions, like isolating someone from communication.
So I'm going to say you can do that automatically. You don't have to roll anything to get that to work since it's a jammer. And yeah, it's I'd say at this point, Cobra probably has it down to just push the button.
Okay.
But you're going to have to roll to see how long you can make it subtle enough that they don't notice.
Okay. What skill am I using for that? Am I basically going to treat it like I've got a D2 in science?
I think I'll let you do it as a D4 in science. This is probably a pretty sophisticated kit.
Thank you, Kyle. That's sweet.
So your target is 5, but each time you double it, that's one more dice roll that you give them to do their work.
Okay, cool. That's a total of 18.
So they get 3 tests, we'll say.
Meaning Todd and I, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so you guys get 3 dice rolls, 3 actions, basically, before somebody on the security team or Refrigerator Perry picks up that there's jamming going on, and which will lead to a heightened sense of security.
Now, is that 3 each or total?
Total.
Okay.
Not 3 each. So there is a brief montage of Throttlehead in a goose costume and Refrigerator Perry playing putt-putt to the theme of raindrops keep falling on my head.
It's slowly becoming fast friends.
Yeah.
Slapping each other on the back.
One of them misses a putt and hits the clown nose and it blares red and they laugh and then they smash the clown.
Cuts away to us running on a beach for some reason.
Just
like Rocky and Apollo.
Frolicking through a mountain meadow.
Playing really greasy volleyball.
Doing heroin on a park bench in Paris.
But all of these different terrains are still inside the putt-putt Coliseum.
Yeah, you've never left.
Yeah. Sharing a plate of spaghetti and slowly like they're sucking on like the same noodle and almost kiss.
So what are Yacht, Croc, and Chigger Cheeks
I forgot.
doing while this romantic comedy goes on?
Yacht Croc is going to attempt to provide yet another distraction. This one for all of the Secret Service agents who are guarding the Prime Minister.
Sure.
And he steps out in plain view of all of them, dressed like the Domino's Pizza Noid.
From the 80s?
Yes.
Fuck me.
That son of a bitch.
And says, Bonjour, mon ami. I am the Noid you cannot avoid. Who would like the pizza?
Who would like some? Yes, that famous French Noid.
Yes.
All right, Todd. What action are you using here to garner the trust of these Malfy and Secret Service agents?
Deception.
That seems appropriate.
I want to convince them that there is a huge pizza buffet inside the gigantic Leaning Tower of Pisa that is part of the mini golf course.
Well, I mean, if you want to spend a story point, there will be one.
Okay, I'll do that. Anyway, I am just here to let you know that inside the Leaning Tower of Pisa, there is a pizza buffet, which I will totally destroy by myself unless you partake in it within the next 10 minutes.
The Secret Service agents look at each other, look at the Prime Minister, look at the Noid, and one of them puts a hand to his ear where his earpiece. We have a Noid. Do we have a kill order?
Noid spotted.
So Todd, roll your deception. They're going to be a little tougher than the Refrigerator Perry. They're going to be difficulty 17.
My deception is a D6. And that is a 22.
Nice.
Wow, you guys are rolling way better than you did last session.
Correct.
So the Secret Servicemen start talking to one another and start arranging. They're not going to totally abandon the Prime Minister because they're not complete incompetents, but they are going to, like, half of them are going to go on lunch and go to the Leaning Tower Pizza and eat pizza, and so they spread out more, and so there's more gaps in their line. The Prime Minister, Paul Martin, is just happily continuing to play putt-putt, oblivious to all the subterfuge that is happening around him. So you guys still have 2 more actions you can make before the jamming is detected, and they kind of go into a more proactive security situation.
So as all this is happening, the hole next to the armadillo hole is a hot air balloon hole where
Sure.
a hot air balloon goes up and down, and it could possibly block your ball.
Yeah, it's being pulled up and down on a giant rope by an animatronic Paul Bunyan.
And if anybody was paying attention to it, they would see the balloon go up and down. But at one point, it goes up, and Chigger Cheeks is standing there. All ninja-y.
Oh, in his full Cobra regalia?
Yes, he has removed the Mitzi costume.
Oh.
I see. So the Prime Minister just gets to this hole, and he looks at Chigger Cheeks. He puts his hands on his hips and tilts his head like a dog trying to figure out, is this a new part that they just added that I haven't played yet?
Chigger Cheeks puts a finger to his lip that he can't see because ninja mask.
Sure.
But he knows where mouths are.
Yeah.
They're intelligent people in Malfy.
I feel like he has a basic awareness of where a human mouth is.
I say it all the time. Europeans know where parts of the face are.
I mean, they're beating Idaho in that regard.
And he taps the red Cobra insignia on his chest and does like a motion, come here.
Prime Minister looks around. Refrigerator Perry.
Because everybody knows who Cobra is, right?
Yeah, everybody knows who Cobra is.
They do a lot of blatant shit.
Yeah. Refrigerator Perry and Throttlehead Goose are over on the 7th hole beating up Lou Diamond Phillips. Not an animatronic.
What?
It's the actual Lou Diamond Phillips.
They've got him on retainer.
They did spend a lot of money, huh?
Yeah.
I wonder what happened to him.
And then the security agents are going up to the Leaning Tower Pizza.
Young Guns is the biggest hit
Yeah.
in Malfy. Young Guns and La Bamba.
Yep.
It's a La Bamba hole.
Right.
Is what it is. And he approaches, he looks around. Do you not think I should be talking to you, Mr. Cobra?
Don't worry. Everybody else is preoccupied. We got a moment to speak.
All right. To what do I owe to honor?
Cobra's taking an interest in Malfy, and not just because of the gooses.
Ah.
From what I understand, you're a man with a bigger vision for your future.
If the future involves me playing more golf, more putt-putt.
Well, it sure as fuck doesn't involve flying cars. They told me in the 80s we'd have flying cars by 2010. Look at this shit. All we got is a Cybertruck.
Meanwhile, over the 19th hole, a flying car zooms past.
Damn. Malfy, cool.
That cost $27 billion.
Well, lucky for you, we work in the accounting division of Cobra.
I see.
And from what I understand, you're not a big fan of the king.
No, we do not see eye to eye on many things.
Especially the inbreeding.
That is very strange, yes.
I mean, if it's second cousins, whatever.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
That's what we say in Maine.
But it's always first, and they have small chin.
Can Yacht Croc give an assist here?
Sure.
So, as they're having their conversation, Yacht Croc, dressed as the Noid, approaches and says, Bonjour, Monsieur Prime Minister. I am the Noid. I spend time in the service of the king. And let me tell you, he has no love for you either. As a matter of fact, the other day he told me that he thinks your mother is so large that at the strip club they call her Hitler because she keeps destroying the Poles.
Jesus.
Okay, you can make a deception roll with an edge.
It's a 19 and a 6, so must be 25.
Such a dickhead. What does Cobra want with me, Prime Minister Palomaton?
Well, we've already got things in motion here in Malfy. Don't worry about the Americans. We'll take care of them. They can't even make a good Marvel movie anymore.
No.
What the fuck was Quantum Mania?
It was so strange.
Yeah.
Over on hole 27, Throttlehead and Refrigerator are hitting golf balls through Doctor Strange portals.
I cannot make it all the way through. Loki, season 2.
There's a season 2?
Oui.
No.
We think Malfy could stand a little change in leadership. And we think you're our man.
Huh?
Don't worry. We'll take care of the king. You just be ready to take power.
Okay. We'll see, Cobra.
Well, let's shake on it. We're honorable Cobra people.
Okay. He extends his hand somewhat hesitantly. And you're not sure if he is actually agreeing to the deal or if he's just going along because all his bodyguards are not close.
Okay. As we shake hands, Plano feels a small needle enter his middle finger. It's noticeable. It hurts. What you just felt is a needle entering your middle finger.
Yes, I realize this. He jerks his hand back and he's shaking it.
Won't be giving anybody the bird for a while. I know birds are important to you. They're important to me, too. I'll work for one.
What did you do this?
What I've introduced into your bloodstream, sir, is a little insurance policy. I call it Jiffy Pop. So,
What the fuck does that mean?
So Jiffy Pop is an elemental poison. It's a volatile chemical that reacts explosively when it enters a living creature's system. So basically, I'm dosing him with explosive blood,
Uh-huh.
but I have the antidote.
Did you just Suicide Squad him?
A little bit.
Oh, so is this from your poison? One of your poisons as a poisoner?
So basically, he didn't actually inject him with poison.
Oh, okay.
It's just a little bit of his own pee.
Okay.
But he doesn't know that, and he made sure he was just dehydrated enough that it's pretty thick and like it's a little burny.
Jesus God. What is going on? Okay, so it's a bluff.
It's a placebo,
Yeah,
for sure.
Gotcha. Okay, so what action are you going to use to try to pull this charade off?
To use this specific poison, I can use either infiltration or science,
Okay.
and I'll use my infiltration. It's a D6.
Cool.
Call, can I say this is a sneak attack?
Sure.
Okay.
He does not know it's coming.
Okay, because I have a skill called sneak attack. When using a silent weapon, I think this applies, my pea needle,
Yeah.
within 20 feet, you have an edge and +1 damage. I just really want the edge.
Okay.
I mean, I think he already feels hurt enough.
So I'll allow this nonsense.
Okay, thank you.
However, should you fail, everything will appear as normal, but you will have accidentally dosed him with the explosive blood poison.
Okay.
And at some point in the future, at an inopportune moment, he will blow up.
Okay. Reasonable.
Also, the normal poison rules will apply if you expend your supply, etc.,
Gotcha.
etc. So I'm going to say this is going to be difficulty 18.
Okay.
Now, you did get help from Todd. Todd gave you a big roll earlier, so you can get an upshift from Todd.
Okay.
From his 20 whatever nonsense roll earlier.
Okay. That makes it a D8, and I've got an edge. It's a 15.
So you failed. So you're going to expend your supply of that poison, but not realize that you actually injected him with the explosive blood poison. But he believes this because he feels it coursing through his veins, and he is starting to panic. Yes, of course, I will go along with whatever Cobra wishes. Now, again, remember, he's going to blow up at some point in the future. Not right now.
Okay.
You guys think this all worked.
Right.
But let me make a note. PM gonna pop. Just put that down there.
Meanwhile, Chigger Cheeks takes a sip from his water bottle. Oh, there's the pee.
Martin assures you he will cooperate with Cobra in any way that is necessary, intimating, I would like to be paid. You can at least fill my coffers somewhat, but I will cooperate.
Don't worry, you'll be paid fine.
Gentlemen, if you'll excuse me, I have to go play through angrily. Chigger Cheeks disappears into the shadows, as a ninja does. The Noid goes and does pizza things.
Off in the distance, Throttlehead and Refrigerator are playing through Putt-Putt Pearl Harbor, trying to get a ball to navigate the kamikaze tiny robotic planes.
It's so distracting from them banging on the hull of the Arizona.
They brought the Arizona over.
But they really spared no expense. Wow.
Very elaborate.
Yeah.
It is not until much later that evening that Throttlehead returns to the safe house after frolicking all day with Refrigerator Barry.
Throttlehead is hammered.
So the three of you reconvene. Remember, as far as you know, everything is going perfectly. You have the prince on the gun you're going to use to assassinate the king with the American political military advisor. You staged a false flag attack. You've got the prime minister on your side who's going to blow up at some point.
Well,
so what is the next stage of your nefarious plan?
so I guess the next stage is to assassinate the king, right?
Yeah, just that little step.
Oh, yeah.
So, but to that end, we know we're going to strike while he's on parade.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the National Parade, which is the large Malfy 4th of July,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
So
Except it's all the balloons are just giant geese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There will be floats, there will be floating balloon animals, there will be the royal procession, which the king is a part of.
Sounds like a perfect opportunity for more mascot costumes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we will need to pick a vantage point somehow from which to make the shots, because we got to remember the setup is this: we have General Dallas's fingerprints on a G36, which is a loud assault rifle that we'll need to be able to leave at the scene in order to frame the American military for the assassination. So we need somewhere with a little bit of solitude, and we need an established escape route to get away from basically what needs to be a sniper's vantage point.
Right. Is there a book depository building anywhere nearby? And or a grassy knoll? Keep an eye out for Zaprutas.
There is a medieval cathedral with a bell tower.
Oh, is this like one of those like restaurants? Were they joust and shit? Is that what you're
The
talking
medieval times?
Oh, no, Corey. We are no longer in the Putt-Putt Coliseum.
No, it is a cathedral built in the Middle Ages. Yeah, so there's the bell tower in the cathedral. There are various large buildings. I mean, this is a major metropolitan area. There are skyscrapers. There would be a book depository if you really needed one.
about? Yeah, they're everywhere.
So I like the idea of the cathedral. We could make the shot and then basically escape down the bell rope. And in so doing, ring the bell and let everybody know where the shot came from.
Well.
So that they make sure to find the rifle.
All joking aside, I think the Kennedy assassination was good for one thing, and that's for this podcast. I think
Wait a minute, Corey. Are you saying it was
Agreed.
all worth it?
I think we set
Agreed.
up some false flag, like some dudes, fake shooters,
Sure.
or we triangulate. We all use the same weapon, type of weapon, the G36, I believe.
Yeah.
But we leave one behind with the prints on it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Make sure they get the one with the
Yeah.
prints, but you each have one to make sure that you get the shot.
Yeah, you triangulate. Anybody knows how to kill a president.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it's a turkey shoot.
Yeah, you just do it.
Okay, so you guys could secure multiple vantage points.
That's
Okay.
true. And I got those special kind of bullets that do that thing.
Yeah, the magic bullets. Yeah.
Yeah. Literal magic bullets
Yeah.
from the Cobra Magic Division.
They have that. Let's be real.
Okay, so do you want to use the cathedral?
That can be one of our spots. Yeah.
The Cathedral Matador of Matadoria.
Yeah. Todd, you mentioned mascots. If you'd like to disguise yourself as a mascot again and take the shot from atop a float.
Well, no. Actually, I am going to set up at the Malfy McDonald's, which is directly across the street from the cathedral, and I will be wearing a Grimace costume.
Yeah.
Never did trust that guy.
So Grimace costume, cathedral.
Chigger Cheeks will infiltrate the sewer system
Okay.
and find a manhole and shoot upwards through the vehicle. Yeah. We don't
I
know.
love it.
Yeah, they might have done that to Kennedy.
I absolutely love it.
That
Sure.
bullet was wacky.
Yeah.
It's also how they got Gaddafi.
Pretty sure they
Yeah.
drug him through the streets and
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
kind of stuck a broom up his ass.
But that came out of the sewers.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. That was no ordinary broom handle.
I mean, the Libyan sewers are the cleanest in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because they sweep.
Okay. Cathedral, McDonald's, sewers.
Yeah, and I would like to point out that Yacht Croc, dressed as Grimace, is going to crawl into the McDonald's Playland tube
Yeah.
and shoot from there.
Okay.
Be hidden.
Just every kid that tries to get in the slide he just gets a boot to the face.
It's like, Mom, Grimace kicked me in the face.
Yeah, he'll do that, honey.
He made a shot and then he disappeared into the ball pit.
So the day comes, and the three of you are working your way through the great capital city of Matadoria, filled with teeming crowds, come out to celebrate the country's birth, the crowning of a king, so on and so forth.
6 years ago.
Yep.
That's how new Malfy is.
The crowds are everywhere.
A bunch of people holding up signs that say "food, not golf."
Put food on our tables.
So, wait a minute, Corey, are you saying that the king is just 6 years old? Is that why we have a gigantic putt-putt course in Malfy?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're gonna kill a child.
Well, it's had its independence for
Oh,
6
no.
years, Austin.
I see.
It's-
Yeah,
Okay, so he's a corrupt asshole just like
Yeah,
the
of
rest
course.
them. Okay.
and inbred.
Throttlehead is sneaking through the back corridors of the cathedral.
He's disguised in like a monk's robe with
course.
his hood over his face.
Yeah. Yacht Croc is in a Grimace costume, and Chigger Cheeks is spelunking through the sewers.
Dressed as a rat.
Unnecessarily, because there's no one else in the sewers, because they're the fucking sewers.
Just in case.
That's okay.
Yeah, keeping an eye out for the janitor.
Yeah, it's a good thing you had that, because one of the rats down there did look at you suspiciously before being...
Chigger Cheeks does not like vermin. This has been established. Look at my face. Don't want to be called rat toes.
Once again, Throttlehead speaking nonsense as an asset to be leveraged as he walks around as a monk inside this church speaking in what appears to be tongues.
Do you have a like dodgeball stuffed in your robe in the back? Give the appearance of a hump.
It keeps changing sides.
Throttlehead makes it to the bell tower, starts climbing the steps. The first obstacle is encountered by Yacht Croc, who, when he gets to his tube, finds it already occupied by a surly 7-year-old.
Yacht Croc waves as Grimace to the 7-year-old and reaches into the Grimace costume's mouth and pulls the gun out.
The kid looks at you and flips you off. It says something in a language you don't understand because Yacht Croc doesn't speak Malfian.
What is the root language of Malfian?
Ecuadorian. Okay. No, it would be a romantic language similar to Italian or Spanish.
Or Portuguese?
Yeah, if you could speak any of the Romance languages, you could get by in Malfy.
Okay, Chigger Cheeks speaks Portuguese. We're all connected via radio.
Yeah.
Because I say so.
Sure.
Well, you know what? I did bring that shit with me.
Okay, good. Well, we did that in G.I. Joe. We all had earpieces. And
Sure.
Yeah. We're not stupid Cobras.
No.
We're some of the great ones.
You're not.
That's our unit slogan.
Yeah.
So, yes, you guys could communicate with each other. I
Okay.
think that went without saying.
Yacht Croc, that young man just called you a butthead. I'm glad we went through this.
Yes. So Yacht Croc decides it's desperate measures time. So he pulls the head of the Grimace costume off, and underneath he is wearing Ronald McDonald makeup.
Oh, God. I want to know how I got these scars.
Wheels within wheels.
It was a fryer accident.
That does make sense.
Yes.
That is a very hot liquid.
Blow on those nuggets first, little boy.
He looks at the little boy. He says, "Bonjour. Would you like to float?"
Oh, God. Jesus Christ. All right. Do you have intimidation?
I do.
Okay, well, it's a child, so it's going to be rather low, you psycho.
I have a D4 in intimidation, and I'm specialized, so I will roll a D20, a D4, and a D2.
All right, so it's only difficulty 6. If you fail, he has a gun.
He's part of
He's
the
an American
Malfian.
child.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
I'm from Texas.
My mom's a teacher. Always packing.
Okay, I'm going to have to spend a story point because I literally just rolled 3 ones.
Jesus.
Wow.
And to be fair, we've been fudging the rules a little bit. Story points you're not technically supposed to re-roll unless you roll one, but our house rule is we've been re-rolling whatever.
Yeah.
I think Kyle called that a unnecessary specific.
Right.
I feel like 3 ones qualifies.
Yeah.
A little.
All right, well, that there is a 17.
So before Yacht Croc could even say anything, just removing the Grimace head and revealing Ronald McDonald sends him into a fit of terror. He begins shrieking and runs, tumbling out of the tube.
I'm going to tell Mayor McCheese.
No one notices this because it's McDonald's ball pit and half the kids are just yelling for no reason.
And shitting in it.
Yeah.
And Yacht Croc takes up his gun position. The next problem is faced by Chigger Cheeks. As Cobras, you have these cool arm-mounted computers that you can do all sorts of things on, like send text messages.
Pet boys.
Yeah, follow maps. You've been following a map of the sewer that is the image, the Televiper, prepared for you. And you get to this large central space right beneath the manhole cover. It's a vertical room about 50 feet high. You're at the base. There's supposed to be a ladder in the center of the room leading up to the manhole cover where you're going to make your shot. Unfortunately, that used to be the case, but years of Malfian negligence has seen that corroded and rusted away. The ladder has tumbled down.
They put the ladder at the windmill at the
Yeah.
Popeye course, yeah.
Budget cuts. There's still a little bit of ladder at the top of the room, like built into the concrete, and some at the bottom, but it's the middle that is rusted away.
Well, part of Chigger Cheeks' gear, he has a burglar kit.
Okay.
Which I assume has some rope, because burglars be climbing.
Yeah, probably. Especially a burglar kit in the G.I. Joe universe.
Sure. He's going to use his crucifix bow to shoot the rope into the ceiling, sewer ceiling.
Yeah, so he can ninja climb up.
Sure.
Yeah, roll your targeting.
Targeting is a D4.
The difficulty is 10.
Okay. And he's going to aim, which gives him a upshift, so that's a D6. It's a 24.
Well, that is higher than a 10. Thunks into the concrete, and you have a little motorized device that's on your belt, and you just You don't even have to climb. It just pulls you to the top. You grab the remaining rungs of the ladder, and you're in position.
Oh, no. He throws away the whirring climber.
Oh, yeah?
And sends it amongst the rats to be their new overlord. And he, he climbs the rope like a Mainer.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
How does a Mainer climb the rope, Corey?
Upside down. Badass.
Like a reverse Spider-Man?
Like karate. You ever see a karate master? You have now.
In the bell tower, Throttlehead is climbing the last few steps, and above him is a trapdoor, which he had expected. He did not expect it to already be open, and for there to be a voice coming from inside. The voice of a G.I. Joe. I don't see anything, Barbecue. It sounds like the G.I. Joe known as Bazooka. There's a pop of bubble gum, and that confirms it. Throttlehead creeps up and can see through the trapdoor G.I. Joe in green army fatigue, trousers, and a red football jersey with a bazooka, a literal bazooka, scanning the crowd below. He's turned away from Throttlehead. He's looking down at the assembled masses. He's got a radio. I don't see anything down there. No cobras, anyway. We should just go to the beach. You hear a voice come over there.
Well, we can't do that, Bazooka. This is our job. Protect the people here, Malfy. The king, president, whatever. They're foreign customs, heathen as they may be to us God-fearing Americans.
And they go back and forth a little bit. But what is Throttlehead going to do?
If we would have known it was fucking bazooka, we could have just jumped on the back of the fucking car and made stabby motions, and he would have shot a fucking bazooka at the goddamn guy.
He would have.
Well,
I definitely would have done that.
on that note, Throttlehead is thinking of doing a little improvising.
Oh, good.
He goes ahead and puts on the pair of rubber gloves that he was going to use to conceal his own fingerprints.
Uh-huh.
And says yes and.
I was going to say, what's Throttlehead improvising? Yes, and!
He pokes his head up. Location!
Colin Mockery appears from the shadows like a viper.
He slings the G36 across his back, sheds his monk's disguise, and
Like a snake.
much like a snake. We have fun.
Yeah, we get into character here.
Yeah.
Very method. I ate a whole mouse yesterday.
So Throttlehead is basically going to try to sneak up on Bazooka once he finishes transmitting on his walkie-talkie. He also activates his jammer once more.
Okay, so roll your stealth.
Oh, I
No.
don't want to do that.
Well, fortunately for you, you are sneaking up on Bazooka, who Canon has shown is not the most observant of G.I. Joes.
Yeah. So I want to make this a melee attack, just sneak attacking him with my might. Can I do that?
Well, what is your intent here?
So I'd like to knock him unconscious and get him out of the equation to be able to use the G36 as we had planned with the general's prints on it.
Well, as we all know, G.I. Joes are most vulnerable before Cobra's plan has been fully revealed.
Uh-huh.
So that would be possible.
Yeah. And we have General Dallas's prints on the G36, but Throttlehead's now thinking that it would be more distinctive to knock out Bazooka and use said bazooka to blow up the king's car.
Yeah, because he writes his name on every bazooka round, too.
That's true.
If found, return to bazooka.
Property of John Bazooka. Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Okay.
Roll your stealth.
Oh. Well, I'll tell you what, Kyle. I also brought a burglary kit. We'll say that it contains a spare ninja costume in it, which allows Throttlehead to also disappear in and out of the shadows and let it give me a skill that I don't have, which is infiltration.
Okay.
So then I'm just rolling a D20 and a D2.
Well, like kits generally give you more than a D2.
Oh, okay.
So I'll say this will let you get a D6 in stealth for one roll.
Okay, cool.
You essentially have an experimental piece of Cobra technology that essentially blanks out sound in a small area for a limited period of time. It burns out very rapidly.
Okay, so then what's my target number going to be?
10.
Okay. I rolled a 22.
You're sneaking up. The sound goes out of the top of the cathedral. You see Bazooka straighten up, looking around, very confused, turns around, and his mouth moves, says something, and Throttlehead's fist slams right into his face just as he was blowing a bubble out of his gum, pops the bubble, breaks Bazooka's nose. Bazooka goes down. The silent stealth kit burns out. Sound returns. The crowds are roaring. You can see the king coming down in his motorcade, and you have the choice between the rifle slung on your back and the bazooka rolling around at your feet. And we're going to end there.
Okay.
Perfectly set up for next week's assassination.
I'm sure it'll go fine.
What could go wrong? I do hope that you guys went to all the trouble of getting the general's prints on the rifle, and then Austin's just going to shoot the car with a bazooka.
I mean, honestly, the bazooka would be more American.
That's true. Yeah, they wouldn't even check for fingerprints. They would just assume, it was the U.S. Yeah, so that's another Cobra episode in the books. We're definitely got probably one or two more of these for this arc finishes up.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we always have fun with Renegade games so far. Transformers and G.I. Joe have been great.
Yeah, a couple episodes in, I was starting to wonder, did I make a mistake making such a non-talkative character? And the answer is always no.
Yeah, we're always happy to not hear you.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, we want to send a special shout out to our friends at NorseFoundry.com. If you're
No, we don't. I don't like them anymore.
Uh-oh, what happened, Corey?
They killed me.
You seem to have been okay.
With die.
You got better.
Yeah.
So anyway, as I was saying, at NorseFoundry.com, they make dice from all different kinds of materials, including Corey's spine.
Jesus.
A small part of it was removed by the government in 1994.
Sure.
And that is now found in many Norse Foundry dice.
Absolutely.
Wonder why my sciatica been acting up.
Yeah, if you go to the store, just look for this dice set called Marrow.
But anyway, as we were saying, they make all kinds of really cool dice and other merch and everything. And if you go to NorseFoundry.com, place an order, enter promo code CHAM at checkout. That's CHAM, CHAM, and get 10% off your order. And we would also like to thank our sponsor, Barrel and Bond, 100 Broadway Street in beautiful downtown Paducah, right there on the banks of the Ohio River.
Don't worry while you're peeing. There's a ninja beneath you.
In a rat suit.
Yes.
And as always, thanks to all of our patrons, all our listeners, all our reviewers.
God damn, y'all are cool.
We couldn't do this without you.
We
Really
do appreciate
cool.
it. Yes, it is very nice to have people listen to a show that we do.
Jesus Christ.
Because we've done it the other way, and it wasn't as fun.
Yeah.
Thanks, I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
Austin.
Benjamin.